So a few injuries that popped up there. Tyreek had a hip, Hippolyte had a shoulder, and then Dom Robinson is in concussion protocol. So we'll see how those things trend here this week and whether we'll have them for the next game or not. But really proud of the guys. Thought they did a phenomenal job just responding. I knew we were decimated in certain areas, and yet it's easy the easy thing is to say, woe is me, and our guys didn't do that. They just stepped up and kept battling through. It happens to most teams each season too, where your depth gets tested, and it just so happens it was this week for us. And so, can't say enough good things about the linebackers that stepped up in that game. D-Jack was our starting Mike, and he called that game. He was the green dot. And I thought he did a great job. We thought Ruben was going to be our will linebacker, and he goes down with the injury early in the game, and Amon comes in, and he doesn't miss a beat for a guy that really hasn't played a whole lot of football this year. So that was so encouraging to see. McLeod takes Tyreek's spot on the outside, and he's out there competing just like he has all year long. On the offensive side, we got, Theo's down, and Ozzie steps up at left tackle, and then Jonah goes down for a little bit, and Luke Newman gets thrown in there at guard. And so that was the type of game it was, and I just think that's the type of guys that we have, the caliber of people that we have. They just keep fighting away and keep plugging away. So it was great to get number 8, and they'll enjoy it here tonight, and tomorrow we'll be in the building on a short week getting ready for the next game. So go ahead and open up from there.
With that injury, with all the injuries that are happening to your team, it seems natural for someone to have low morale after that. What is your message, or what was your message to your team to fight through all of that?
Well, this is every team. This is the NFL. So this is what happens when you play a 17-game season. And it just so happened, back half of the season's when it caught up to us a little bit. And, we'll get some of the reinforcements back at some point. But until then, we got to hold down the fort, and so that's what we'll do. And these guys are going to go out and compete. This is what we've been practicing for, what we've been training for all along. The coaching staff has known this. All of our practice squad players, they know it's highly likely that they'll get called upon at some point. And it's just I can't say enough good things about the guys that stepped up today to help us win that ball game.
And what did you make of Killam's performance?
Once again, I got to go look at that tape, but. 31 points on offense, and that's always a good thing when you get over 30. So, from my perspective, we probably had a couple that we let get away from us, but that's I don't know many quarterbacks that do play a perfect game.
When you're 3rd and 8, you take the delay. What happened?
We just didn't get it off in time, and in the fourth quarter, those guys know I'm not going to call my timeouts because we're going to need those later on.
Let's talk about complementary football. I think the offense scored touchdowns both times after the takeaways. What impressed you about that?
Say it again.
The defense got the takeaways, and the offense turned them into touchdowns.
Yeah, it's something that we'd love to do. I mean, we've had so many takeaways this year. Our defense just, is part of their calling card. And so we've done a solid job of capitalizing on that. I think we're 2nd in the league in points off turnovers. And so we really needed that there today. You certainly felt it, with Shawnee's interception there on the sideline. The whole sideline kind of ignited, gave us a spark, and offense was able to capitalize on that and score our first touchdown of the game. So it's good to see that complementary football, and we're going to need more of that here going forward.
And what's it like on the sideline and maybe during the week, just kind of keeping track of all the guys who are down and, and kind of what does it say about DA, about kind of how everything came together today?
Yeah, no, I think you can't understate the importance of these guys. I'm talking about the coaching staff. That's all 3 phases. They do a phenomenal job of piecing this thing together. We meet early in the week and we kind of forecast how we think it's going to go, and then the week of practice kind of dictates who's going to be up and who's going to be down to a degree. But each week's a little bit different story, and like I said, you got different guys stepping up and answering that bell, and that's why the week of preparation is so important for us too. These young players, they get a chance to instill confidence in the coaching staff and find a role and a niche when there's an opportunity available. So it was good.
Again, for just a housekeeping thing, Tremaine, do you expect him back this year?
Who? Tremaine? I think so, yeah.
The touchdown to DJ on the free play.
Yeah.
What did you like about just the recognition and how Karen Caleb and DJ?
Yeah, it was something that we thought we might be able to get them to jump off sides. It's such a good pass rushing group. We were trying to find ways to slow them down a little bit, and that was an opportunity for us to work our cadence. And I thought the execution of it was really well done. It's something we've been working on since the springtime through training camp, and everybody on offense has slowly but surely gotten better at that. And so great job by Drew pulling the trigger, seeing it out of his periph, and then Caleb finding the open receiver. It's really well done.
You guys found out that Rodgers wasn't going to play. What's the message to the team 2 hours before?
Nothing. We just keep playing. Yep. Doesn't matter who's out there.
What's the feedback to Caleb after the strip sack?
Just hold on to the ball. Yeah. We know how important these turnovers are. We can't have them. They're not okay. So we're well aware of that.
With this,
You got it. Yeah, you got it, Pat.
you've got a really quick turnaround here. What is your focus in the next couple of days? Do you turn the page tonight and go on to Philly, or how did your routine change in this?
Well, it's something we've been mindful of the moment the schedule came out, and so our coaches, I know our defensive coaches were certainly in the office a little bit later towards the end of the week there, getting ahead. We'll have some coaches go into the office after the game here tonight, and then, tomorrow it's going to be full steam ahead. So we actually get an extra day. Normally you go Sunday to Thursday at least once a year, so Sunday to Friday is actually going to be pretty nice.
What impressed you about Montez's performance today, especially?
He's been heating up since the bye week, Tez has, and you've just felt it each week. He seems to impact the game a little bit more each week, and so I think he had 2, is that right? And had a chance for a third, it felt like, out there from my count, but it's good to see that come on just like that. I feel him, I feel Grady, I feel Book, I feel all those guys, and it's whenever we get that 2-score lead there, that's when it certainly starts playing in our favor a little bit more as well.
Did something unlock? As you mentioned the vibe, was it something that you guys sat down and figured out, or is it just a function of he's just been?
No, I think he's capitalizing on those opportunities, but he's been a good player for a long time, so it's just it's been really good to see though.
We talked during the week, about the middle eight. What did you like about, especially the way you guys came out of the half, and Caleb, I think 5 for 5 on that drive, just in terms of responding to halftime in the first half?
Yeah, did a nice job there before halftime, getting the field goal. Could have had a little bit cleaner operation just as a whole unit there throughout that, but we were able to get the 3, and then defense came and got us a stop to start the second half, and offense did a nice job piggybacking on it. You kind of I just feel the flow of the game sometimes. I think Jeff Joniak just told me there's 18 straight passes. I don't think of those things in the moment. I just kind of, what do I feel like is going to work best next? But I thought Caleb did a nice job there in that middle eight of finding some completions for us.
Yeah, I think being able to obviously get DJ going, having 2 touchdowns, I know is big for our confidence as relationship and things like that for this year, and then also just having one of our star guys get going, it only builds momentum for us as a team, and so it was good to see that. It was good to get him in the end zone a couple of times. I know he's been wanting that, and that's something that doesn't always happen, even if you're primary in routes and people cover you, all of that. So being able to get him, in the zone a couple of times, we're excited for it, and we got to keep growing that and keep building on that. But
What did you see on the free play?
They ended up just dropping DJ. Saw I think Ramsey was at safety, ended up taking the number 3 receiver, and the corner didn't overlap or anything like that, or the defender over DJ just dropped him and didn't run with him, and so went through the read, went middle first, went to DJ, and he ran a great route, just threw him a ball, and he made a great play.
Caleb, the strip sack.
Yep.
I know it's probably, as a quarterback, hard to just go down for safety, but is that what you're supposed to go do in that spot? Or?
It's what I'm supposed to do is just throw the ball away. In that situation, just throw the ball away, live to fight for another down, and that's it.
How do you look at a game like this? You get the 3 touchdown passes. You guys had an opportunity to put them away.
Yep.
But you get the win. I mean, how do you kind of balance that as you assess yourself?
Yeah. You don't apologize for any wins in this league, and I think that's a historic organization over there, and they got a bunch of great athletes, a bunch of great coaches and things like that. So like I said, you don't apologize, but you do understand where you can be as a team, what we could have done out there, and that's the frustrating part. And it starts with me, and it funnels down to everybody else. Missing a few passes and a couple passes that recently that I've been kind of just surgical with, and missed those passes today, and it was frustrating. But trying to stay positive for the guys, just knowing what type of game it's going to be. They were running the ball well and things like that, and so they were using a lot of clocks. We weren't going to have many possessions, and so trying to be positive for those guys, and not get too frustrated in those situations. And then from there, we gotta it's I said it before. We gotta learn from. It's nice when you get to learn from wins, and you find ways when you have mess ups or all these different things to find ways to win, but also understand that we have so much left in the tank and we can be so much better.
Montez said it's not the same old Bears right now.
Yep.
Do you feel that? Do you feel the idea of kind of turning the tide here?
Yeah, I mean, we're an 8-3 team in the National Football League, and so we feel good where we're at, but we do got to get better. And I would say, we don't feel like we're the same old Bears. We pull through for each other when it matters most, and so we got to keep getting better. Like I said, it starts with me on my side, and then we'll keep growing from there.
What happened on the delay game?
Yeah, we ended up lining up wrong, and trying to get it all situated, and didn't want to in that moment didn't want to run a bad play or a play that was all messed up from the jump, and so move back a couple yards and try and go get it from there.
You said this week that you wanted to go say hello to Rodgers at some
Yep.
point. Did that happen?
Yeah, right after the game, we ended up saying hello, get healthy, and and moved on from there.
How important was that drive coming out of halftime? I think you went 5 for 5.
Yep.
And so just coming out of that first half, but what did that drive mean kind of moving forward for you?
Yeah, it was good for us just because kind of how right before half kind of played out, to be able to get the momentum going back in our favor and things like that, and get moving along back where we want to kind of get going, and we got to have more of those from my side to running to whatever it is. We overall just offensive, we got to have more of those because we got a bunch of talent. We got great coaches, and they were doing a great job today, and like I said, we got to have more of those.
The locker room seemed a little tamer today than it's been after other wins. Is that just a sign of you guys getting kind of used to and expecting these kind of outcomes?
No. You don't ever get used to winning. It's one of the best feelings in the world, and so you don't get used to it. I think y'all just kind of came in a little late. Everybody was dancing and having fun, going around shaking hands, celebrating and congratulating each other, and showing appreciation to each other because it takes all of us, and that's something that we said in the locker room. It takes a village, and we had guys step up. And step up big for us today. And you can't, like I said, you never get tired of those, and you can't get tired of these type of wins.
Guys stepping up, obviously watching that defense today do what they did with a lot of guys getting their numbers called. What was that like? Yeah,
it's what we needed. And so we didn't expect anything less, but we are appreciative. We are proud of the guys that did step up because it was a big game for us, because this was the only game we had this week. And so, being able to focus on that, being able to, get everybody, going, having confidence, having belief in themselves is important. And then from there, we got to go out there and execute. And, the guys did a great job today.
You mentioned some frustration with your accuracy.
Yep.
When you're in a funk like that, how do you pull out of it?
Yeah, you next play mindset, and then from there you just got to go out there and execute.
Is it footwork? Or what do you?
Today, I just in the beginning it didn't feel like I got into a good rhythm. I was missing passes and it was it was kind of weird. It was just I wasn't too frustrated like the couple of weeks ago where I was just missing, and I got supremely frustrated and things like that. I understood, and I wrote on my notes for myself to stay positive for myself, but also the guys. And I think I did a solid job with that this week, and just was missing. And it was like I said on passes and routes that I've been hitting the past couple of weeks and been pretty good with. And so we'll figure it out. We'll go back and watch and figure out why.
What did that first kind of stuff by the defense, that 4th and 1, touch push? situation. You know, it was big. You know, goal line or fourth down stand.
Mm-hmm.
What did that do for the offense then?
Yeah, it's great in those moments. You know, those are momentum plays, especially when you know the defense gets going and you know they make a big play like that for us. And you know we want to go down and score, whether it's turnover on downs, a big fourth down stop, and things like that, or you know it's the turnovers that they get for us. And so you know we'll keep doing a good job with it, and you know doing a better job with it in those moments. But it is a momentum shifter and things like that for us.
What were you seeing over the middle of the field today? You know, all three of those touchdowns came that way.
Yeah, I think you know this year I think I've been you know pretty solid over the middle. It's something that we've worked on and something I've been working on. You know this year, but also throughout my career, is just you know finding ways to be able to attack all 53. You know, and make the defense have to cover all of that. And so, you know, I think today, Coach did a great job calling the plays. You know, the guys did a great job running great routes, and the O-line, they did a hell of a job today. That one sack was on me, but they did a hell of a job today protecting me versus that D-line. And so, you know, with that being said, just deliver a good ball and let the guys go make plays for us.
Is it too early for Bears fans to start thinking playoffs?
You know, for them, if they want to think that, that's fine. But for us, it's just the next game. And like I said, you know, if we go 1-1, which is 1-0, you know, in each week, we'll be exactly where we want to be, and they'll be here, you know, supporting us, cheering us on like they always do.